Hey Earthlings, welcome to another video. I'm Sylar and I'm an alien magician. If you're interested in magic videos or tutorials about magic business or anything in between, please subscribe now. Welcome back. So today I'm gonna teach you everything I learned from organizing online magic shows for the past 2 months since the lockdown started. You're gonna learn my setup, what software and hardware I'm using, how I advertise the show and how I make sure every show is sold out, how I use the shows to actually get bookings for other online shows. So outside of selling tickets, get companies and people that have birthdays or home events to hire you as a magician for one of these online shows. Okay, so before we get into this properly, what I would like you to do is go to this video right here. I linked it in the description. At about second 47, a magic trick starts that I performed in one of my online shows. It's about 3-4 minutes, but I urge you to watch that first before continuing this video, just because then you'll understand more about my setup, the type of magic I do, how I have people set up and all of that stuff. So go watch that now and then come back and see the rest of the video. Okay, so firstly, I'm gonna talk about my setup, my background, what software and hardware I use. I know this is basic stuff, but I don't know what level you're at, so I feel that any information will help you. So for the streaming, I use Zoom and I've paid for the Pro version, which allows you to have more than 50 people in one setting and allows you to have a meeting longer than 40 minutes. Obviously, this helps a lot because I've done companies for 50 or more people and you need that. And also sometimes, even though the show's 1 hour, you might extend it a bit for people to chat amongst themselves and stuff like that. I've had events where people just wanted to stay on and have a chat for another 30-40 minutes. So that really helps to just give them that extra thing. Because after the show, they're staying on with their friends and family or colleagues and having a glass of wine and having a bit of a chat. So it's really fun and really something extra you can offer them. For filming, I'm using my MacBook Pro, which the camera for it is amazing but not fantastic. So I am looking into either streaming cameras or actually using my phone camera to stream. There's an app that I'll link in the description. It's about £7.99. So if you buy that app, you can sync your iPhone with your MacBook. So then your iPhone camera will be the camera used for the actual filming. For audio, I use the AirPods, and obviously this works great for me because I have the MacBook. And the other thing I suggest, even though you might have the latest versions, because you're using the mic and the audio at the same time, the battery might go in about 40-45 minutes. So what I do is I take one, I start the show with that one, and then when I hear the little sound that the battery is low, I just change it to the right one and put the left back in. So this way, really, you could keep going forever because they keep charging as you're using the other one. The last two things I would suggest is have some lights. I'm gonna film my lights now just so you can see what's happening and how they kind of look. It really helps light the magic better and you better. And for audio purposes, I suggest putting a blanket just on the floor because then the sound bounces less and it's less echoey and it's way more clear for your spectators. For the background, I don't think there's much I could say. I just tried to use as much of me as possible and as much of my actual stage setup. So I've put a few posters here, a few tricks here and there. I have this poster of Doctor Strange. Another thing that I would really suggest is having somewhere to put your predictions if you do any type of prediction tricks, because you're gonna cover the screen a lot and then nothing is fair. So what I've done is I attach this piece of thread to my ceiling and I just clamp it on here. So then it's easier for everybody to see, but that's something extra, but it is part of the background. So incorporate as much magic or as much of your show within your background rather than constantly having to go on screen and pick stuff up and look for things or anything like that, because then everything is part of it. The decoration is the magic, which is absolutely perfect. Hopefully you can see Larry here. This is a decorative candle that I love and I'd love to have in my background, but I also use it for a magic trick or two. So just get creative, look at your background and see what you can do with it to entertain people that are watching. Okay, so that was the first thing. We're gonna move into the second thing now, which is how to advertise your show and sell it out and sell tickets basically. So I'm just gonna go through my steps, and obviously if you have extra steps to add to this, please leave them in the comments to help other people out, and please let me know because I don't know everything. I'm constantly learning and would love to learn more. So I use a website called Eventbrite. I'm pretty sure it works worldwide, so you can go make an account and organize an event. They take a little fee from each ticket you sell, but if you don't want your audience to pay that extra fee, you can also have the option of you taking that fee. So when somebody pays you, you pay for that fee for Eventbrite, so then your audience member doesn't pay extra for that ticket, if that makes sense. Because I advertise my show as £9 a head, but obviously it ends up being like £9.60 or something because of Eventbrite doing that. So depending on how you want to go about that, you have options. The website is extremely easy to use. The customer service is great. I've been using it for 3-4 years now, and every time I've had issues, I've messaged them on Twitter or emailed them, and I always get a reply very quick, and the problem is always fixed very quick. So I can definitely highly recommend the website. It's free. I'm not sure if it has a paid version, but I never needed it because I organize a couple, maybe, okay, let's say 4 or 5 shows a month, and I've never needed to pay anything for that. Okay, so now your tickets are on sale. How do you sell the tickets? So the way I am selling tickets currently is obviously using all of my social media as much as I can. So look where you have a big following, but on the other hand, I don't think it matters right now because, for example, my LinkedIn following is very tiny, but I'm constantly posting on there, and every now and again there will be somebody commenting or saying something about the post, so I'm hoping eventually it might help. But for now, I'm mentioning it in my YouTube videos, I'm putting it on LinkedIn, on Instagram as a post and as a story, on Facebook as a story and as a post, and on Twitter. Those are the main things I use social media wise. So I push them as much as I can there. Obviously I tag a few friends. You can try and do a competition every now and again. So if you do a show a week, you can give, say, 2 tickets away, and then that will generate a bit more advertising for you. The other thing that I use is my newsletter. Obviously, if you don't have a newsletter, it's great to start building up one now. I wish I had a better newsletter considering what happened, and I would have probably sold even more tickets, but I haven't because it's quite tiny and I'm trying to build it up now. But try and build up a newsletter. If you have one already, send it out as an offer. Maybe give a discount to the members of your newsletter to give them an incentive to buy a ticket. And the last one would be any types of bookings that have postponed for next year. I don't know about you, but I do a lot of weddings, more weddings than I do private parties or corporate events. So a lot of my shows were weddings that I was meant to do last month, this month, next month, and so on. So a lot of them have postponed until 2021. So what I'm doing now is inviting the couple with some of their reception party, so some of their wedding guests, to come on and see a free show. And obviously it's a free show you're doing, you're not making any money from that, but you will give so much back to the bride and groom, because you have to understand how disappointed they are that they can't go ahead with their wedding day. So doing something like this for them would help you a lot, and it would help them a lot. And who knows, at the end, just do a little pitch for your weekly show. Maybe they'll tell some friends and they'll book the show, or they'll tell somebody that has a company and they'll book the show for the employers. So you have to always think ahead. And the main thing that I should have mentioned at the beginning of this video is definitely don't plan for the short term right now. Because for us magicians, I don't see us working for the next 6 months. Not properly anyway, not how we used to. I used to do 2-3 shows a week, and I highly doubt that will happen within the next year. So I feel this is a future thing for now for us, and because it's worldwide and we can get anybody into a Zoom session, our audience is kind of bigger than ever. So now we're going to talk about pricing your tickets and how to use Facebook ads to actually sell these tickets. So price-wise, I think it depends on what your level of magic is, I guess, but it is something you have to decide. You have to realize that all prices are made up by yourself. You know, you want to sell something, you make up a price. If somebody buys it, that's the price. So I kind of just went with, I used to charge for my live shows £10 per person. So I thought £9 to £10 would be expensive now per person, but per Zoom screen, I think it's fine, because most people have 2, 3, 4 people in their household. And to pay £9 to see an hour magic show with those people, I don't feel it's a lot. And also, if you come see a live magic show, You have to drive there, you have to buy some food, get a drink, whatever. This is just, that's all the money you spend. So I don't feel it's expensive at all. Obviously adjust it wherever you're from and test it out. You know, if you think you don't want to go for a £10 show, organize the first one at £5. And I'm gonna quickly have a chat about Facebook ads because this would be a video on its own. If you want me to do that separately, please let me know in the comments. But basically, I just tried to make a little poster slash flyer and have it pop up. Obviously, you want it to be interesting, but not too much information on it. And then I just add that with the website for them to buy tickets and just something like, hey, join me for a Zoom magic show. You will see visual magic, interactive mind reading, plus you'll learn a trick at the end. So it's just things to sort of get them in, because hopefully visual magic, interactive mind reading, or learning a trick, most people will be interested by one of these three. So if one of them gets them in, I'm happy with that. And when it comes to targeting your audience, obviously right now you can target anybody, but I'm still thinking ahead of my shows and my bookings. So what I'm doing is I'm targeting families, because I know families would be particularly interested in this show and most likely not get me any other bookings, but they would be the audience that would buy the most tickets, I think anyway. So that's what I'm testing out now. But the other thing I'm targeting is people that are having their birthdays in that particular month. So my ads that are going out now are for people that are having their birthdays at the end of May. So those people will be targeted, so maybe one of them will go, oh, that'd be a cool thing for my birthday. And the other thing, I'm targeting people that have been engaged for a year, 6 months, or 3 months, because those people will get married eventually, and I might be the magician at their wedding. So even though I'm advertising for people to come to the show, I'm still thinking ahead to hopefully get a booking from those people that come to the show. So sorry this Facebook ad thing is so brief, it's just so much to talk about. So if you guys are interested to see how I do it and how I pick my targeting and stuff, what I'll do is just record the screen on my phone while I set up an ad and just upload that as a video. So if that's of any interest, please let me know in the comments, okay? Now I'm gonna do a super quick section on how to use these gigs to get more work for yourself. Obviously I mentioned some things previously in this video, but I just wanted to get a bit specific about certain things. So outside of inviting people to see the show for free and hopefully book the show for their company or stuff like that, the other thing you can do is have a second show. Okay, so organize a first show and then have a second show that you'll never sell for tickets. So what I do with the second show is, say I have 10 people and none of them know each other and they're doing one of my Sunday shows. They're all watching the show, they love it, but they wish maybe they would see it with some friends or family, right? So what I do is I pitch, at the end of the first show, I pitch a second show to them. So I say, look, if you can find at least 6 people to put £10 each, then we can set up a time and date, get on Zoom for an hour, and I can entertain you. And that's very fun for them because they all know each other, they want to have a chat. They probably do this, but not all of them together. So now you'll get all of them together, they'll see a magic show, and then when they have a chat, they have something in common to chat about that's completely new for them. It's not a movie that everybody can see, and now they can't go out either to do anything else. So that's a good way to advertise more and get the same people to come back. So definitely have 2 shows if you can. So now I'm gonna talk about the type of magic I think works well on Zoom, but obviously I'm sure you already have an act, so what I suggest you do is try and change the act that you have already so it works for Zoom. Obviously certain things won't work, like I used to bend people's coins, right? So I used to give them the Sharpie, they would put their name on a coin, hold it in their hand, and the coin would be bent. But now I don't see that happening in real life in the future, and obviously it's not something I can do over Zoom. So hopefully if you watch the video I said for you to go and watch, it's linked in the description. Basically it's about 4 minutes, but it's part of my online show. So you'll be able to see exactly how I do one of the tricks to see what I'm saying. The things that I recommend the most is obviously visual magic, but not a lot. So I would recommend, say, 25% visual and 75% interactive. Obviously the interactive can be interactive and visual, but if you just show magic to the camera, because they're not in a theater or at a table, they're very easily distracted, and it's probably not even your fault. You're probably amazing, but because they're there and it's light and the phone is just there, they'll probably check it quickly. So you don't want them to do that, especially when you're doing visual magic. If they just need to watch and they don't watch for a second, you lost them. But if you interact with people, you can't lose them because they're in a conversation with you constantly. So I suggest picking your magic so it gets people involved as much as possible. Even if a trick that you're doing now doesn't do that, try and find a way to do that, you know? So if you get somebody to think of a card and then you reveal the playing card, don't just go, hey, think of a card. You got it? Is it this one? Yes, reaction. Try and get everybody involved. Try and ask more people what card they were thinking of. If they change their mind at all, try and get them to talk to you, because people are interested. Most people have never seen magic live in their life. So they'd be very interested to hear from you. So definitely try and chat with your audience and make the tricks as interactive as possible. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the tips section. I guess these are things that I haven't really found a place for, but if I haven't addressed anything that you're interested in, please leave the questions in the comments and I'll either reply to you if it's something easy to reply to. If not, I'll do a follow-up video with more information on this. But there was a question I found I was asked online that I wanted to address anyway, and that was figures, numbers. How many shows do you do? How much money do you make? And I don't think this is an issue to reveal at all, and that will probably give you more confidence in my information or less confidence. So I'd rather be open than hide these things from you guys, okay? So far I would say I've done 2 shows a week for the last 4 to 5 weeks, and that would be selling 15, 16 tickets for each show at £10 each, right? So that would be about, say, an average of £300 a month, right? So that's £1,200, £300 a week, so that's £1,200 a month. And I will say that I did have some private shows come in that I charge about $300, $350 for now. I used to charge about $550 for a private show, but obviously now people want to spend less, and I'm also getting less and less gigs, so I'm trying my best to kind of balance it out and not work for free either. So from shows directly that I sell tickets, I would say about 1,000, you know, so I'm careful. I would say about £1,000 a month, which is probably not a lot, but considering this is literally all I do, like I have no other skill, I have to do it and I have to get some money in. And I've done a couple, I would say on average, a couple of those private shows a month. So I would say you could easily get between £1,000 and £2,000 a month, and that's just with the information I give you. Obviously, you probably have more things that you know how to do to get more clients and stuff. That's what this video is really. It's just my perspective and all of the information I know. Obviously, I don't know everything, so please share any information you also have. Okay, so that's all of the information I have for you now. If you enjoyed this video at all, please leave it a like, leave a comment, share with your magician friends so hopefully they can start doing shows and more people can enjoy live magic. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe because I'm doing weekly videos now. One will be for you guys, the magicians, teaching you the side of business of magic, stuff that I learned throughout the years. And the other weekly video will be for you, the muggles, showing you magic as much as I can in the lockdown environment. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.